There it goes. Okay, we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Show. Today, the underbelly of your business. We've got a great conversation with the amazing Justine McDonald. She's a fellow Canadian joining me on the show today. Justine, welcome. We are excited.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Tell us a little bit about you first.
Yeah, so I started my journey as an entrepreneur actually developing my own products, and I had my own Amazon store. And that quickly turned into taking my years as a sales and marketing executive in corporations into teaching small businesses how to build a business that they love, that feels really good, and creates the revenue that their 9 to 5 once did.
And it changed. Why? Why did you stop doing Amazon?
You know what? I love working with people, and my original vision was to sell these products and live my best life in my house while my kids were at school and have peace and quiet. And I just realized I was missing that human connection. This was before COVID. I realized that I wanted to use the gifts that I felt that were kind of squashed in the corporate setting. And I wanted to connect with more people. And as I started sharing my journey on Instagram of building my planner products, people said, "Can you help me build this product and that product?" And I realized how much it lit me up to help other women fulfill their dreams and their goals. And every week to meet with them and watch them cross things off their list and celebrate with them. And it was such a high for me, there was no turning back.
So, this topic today, the underbelly of your business, tell us a little bit about that. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so I launched a new program called Six Figure Sales School. And as I was creating a free training, right, a lead generation tool for this program, there was a theme that I just couldn't get away from over and over and over again as I looked at all these different sales and marketing tactics that I've used and best practices in the industry. And at the end of the day, no matter what you're selling, what industry you're in, the only thing that really mattered was, did you understand what was valuable about you and your business? And were you able to clearly articulate it in a way that felt really authentic to you? So I love to say you have to sell yourself first before you can sell anyone else. And understanding your value and your USP, what makes you unique, is what allows you to really confidently talk about who you are and to feel really good about it. And this is the underbelly of a successful business.
So, it's not as, so we want to get into the sales conversation. So, when you said that to me, that really this is all about values, tell me a little bit more about how I, as someone who's struggling and can't seem to make enough money in my business, where would I start?
Yeah. So the first thing you start is understanding first, if you just started your business, there's probably a reason why you started it, right? It's either there was a gap in the market, an opportunity that you saw, or it was a product or a service that you experienced and you thought, I can do this better, right? There's something here that I can do better. And so when you go back to that initial thought that you had when you started your business, and you really fall back in love with what you have decided to do differently, and you fall back in love with what does make you and your business different, this is that core foundation of confidence that you start from when you're feeling lost or when you're feeling overwhelmed with all the tactics in your business and you feel like you're not hitting your financial goals and you get so caught and run down, honestly, by chasing the goal and chasing the dream. Remember why you started and remember what your special sauce is.
I think in 2024, that may very well be our differentiating factor is who we are and the story that we bring. what are your thoughts on that?
100%. I always tell my entrepreneurs that the fastest way from 0 to 100K, which is a lot of businesses' goal when you first start out, right? You
Right.
want to hit that 6 figures. For most people, that's going to cover your corporate salary, and you're going to have that replacement value. The fastest way is to build a personal brand because we're, at this point, with us having access to products overseas and with digital marketing, so much of what we are doing can become commoditized. Everyone says they can
Right.
help you build your business. Everyone can sell you a t-shirt. But why is someone going to buy into you? Because of who you are and because you have done a great job of clearly articulating your values and matching that with your ideal audience's values.
How do you express your values online?
Oh, in so many different ways. So in a fun way. So when I first started out in coaching, I used to say that, I just turned my camera a little bit. I used to say that, I coached moms exclusively because that's the stage I was in. I had little kids at home and I wanted to help women build a business that allowed them to live both lives well. So I very intentionally wouldn't show up to my calls always dressed up. I would have my hair in a top bun. Sometimes I'd have a hoodie on, because one of my values was for people to always feel like whatever stage they're at, they were comfortable and at home with me.
Mm.
And so it's not always like our mission statement on our website. And it's not always this big declaration. It's really small intentional things that we do to allow other people to feel seen and understood within us, even when we're perfect strangers. So that's a really simple example of a way that you could express them.
So, what I heard you say was that it's not always a list of top 5 values. It's actually how we show
Mhm.
up in the world. If we're clear and aware of who we are and we're authentic in that, meaning you didn't come all dressed to the nines, you came as who you were, because that's naturally who you are, what you believe in. And that was just saw online, but not stickers, on I believe in this
Yeah.
kind of idea. So you're really living into it. So there's a feeling and a story that starts to come about, I think, from all of that as well, that people can really relate to. Tell me about AI a little bit with regards to
Mm.
these pieces that are so important in 2024. What are your thoughts about AI?
I mean, for me, when I think about building a personal brand, it is a feeling, right? We all have that
Yes.
energetic feeling when someone walks in a room. We felt it when we don't know someone and we kind of get the ick, or we felt really
Right.
drawn to someone we've never met before. And so when you are selling yourself and you are the brand and you are the reason they buy your handmade t-shirts, even though there's 100 other handmade t-shirts online, AI can't compete with that because AI is a culmination of so many other opinions, and you have your own unique value. You have your own unique expression. And although AI is a really beautiful tool for overwhelmed entrepreneurs, I love to use it as an outline when I'm feeling overwhelmed with where do I even start when I'm in that blank paper stage. But as far as being able to replicate that human connection and being able to replicate your uniqueness when there is literally only one of you, it's impossible. So, for the people that are worried that AI is going to dilute their ability to run a successful business or dilute their ability to reach their people, I actually think that, I've seen a huge uptick in people wanting to get off of social media and wanting to get more in person because I think people are realizing that human to human connection, and just seeing someone and looking someone in the eyes in a business exchange and feeling what it's like to be in their presence is becoming more and more important for people, after a couple of rough years and then the explosion of AI.
There's this idea online right now of who created and is still creating the AI bots in the back. If like there's not probably a lot of women. So if we think about that, like even the voices that are what's coming out of it is what's going into it. So it's really important, I think, for us as women and maybe women of color as well to be really cognizant of that, that it's not coming in our voice probably at all. And then the other piece of it, I think, is what you were saying about the branding. It can't get to the attitude that we've got or the values that we have or the story that we're telling. Like my t-shirt today says, make it fucking happen. Like that's the attitude I woke up with this morning. I'm like, I didn't sleep last night. I'm like, we're going to make this, like, it's that, I think it's the values I bring to the call. Normally I've got my hair and everything done. I'm like, I don't think I slept. This is welcome to entrepreneurship. We're just going to show up and we're going to get her done. And that's the values again that you know, on my side. I love AI. You know what I built with it recently was, you know how you get all the receipts that come into your business from everywhere, and some have a PDF and some don't, and etc. I used AI to grab those images and pull the date and amount off for me, like in a Zapier. Like I'll use it for shit like that, right? But when it comes to, because it replaces a whole person to put all of that together, and I needed AI plus the automations. But I had to tell it what I needed, and I had to tell it how I wanted it done, and I needed to think about how I would want to run my business and put it in the folders and the way that things work. So I think it's still the same in business. We can, once we know who we are and where we're going and what we stand for, maybe AI can help us. I'm on a bit of a rant there.
Absolutely. Tell us how you really feel, Pam.
Right? I was on a podcast
Yeah.
yesterday or the other day, and just not a values match at all. I could sense it almost immediately. And
Mm.
somebody said to me one time, and it was a while ago, the most dangerous thing that we can do is hide in our business. And it's really
Mm.
hard to sell, isn't it? Or have six figures, get to six figures. You're dragging dead weight if you don't stand and stand for something. Tell us
And I
one.
think I think one Sorry, I was going to say, I think one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs in the early stages get really caught up in is they have a special skill or they have a unique product that they want to bring to market. And they forget at the end of the day, if they can't fall in love with selling and they can't fall in love with talking about who they are and what they do, then that product and service can never get in the hands of the people they created it for. They can't have that impact. They can't make that revenue. So you have to get really, really comfortable with the selling process. And the base of that selling process is understanding and believing in your core, in your values. So it's not lip speak, right? It is honesty, it is integrity. And people feel that, they crave it, they want it. And if you can really hone in on that, everything else is just technology and changing and algorithms. It's like you become your walking business plan. Like your body becomes that best built-in business plan.
Great segue to selling. I think it's really important to have that conversation. 2024, what's it like when you're talking with entrepreneurs? What's the belief system? What is the language that they're putting around this if they're struggling or not struggling? What are you seeing talking to women today or people today?
Well, to be honest, people are struggling. The last couple of years, inflation coming out of COVID and not really having time to emotionally process like the traumatic situation that was, people just wanted to get back to life. People are burnt out and they're tired, and a lot of people are living in fear of, is their business going to be okay? Right. And for the people that are investing in building their personal brand and building their connection with people, those are the people that are having the most success right now. They're the people who have nailed down their offers and they know where their
Yes.
people live and they have a clear process, right? Those are the three buckets that I teach in Six Figure Sales School is, what is your offer? How are you finding your people, and how are you selling to them? Like that, it's that simple. But again, values is the underbelly of every single one of those pieces, and it has to start with that foundation. So I feel like entrepreneurs now are, they're they don't know. Like it feels like unprecedented times after COVID, because when we were in it, it was a survival mechanism and people weren't really sure what the repercussions were going to be afterwards. And so they were afraid that their business is just going to fall by the wayside when people get back to their regular life and they're spending money on travel again and they're doing all the things that maybe they were once spending during COVID on their products and their services. And they're looking for a way. They're looking for a way to sell in an authentic way because they're feeling drowned out in a saturated marketplace, and they crave that human connection that their buyers are also craving, and they're looking for more ways to authentically show up in their business, and sell that doesn't feel needy. And I call it like the needy creepy effect, right? Like we've all felt that when someone needs a sale, as women especially, we're so intuitive, we feel that, and we don't want that. We don't like to be sold that way, so they're looking for tools and resources to be able to connect with their buyers.
So much to unpack there. The first thing was, it's so interesting to see everyone, especially go to TikTok and it'll make you feel bad about yourself in about 3.5 seconds, right? Because everybody's making $1 million and it looks amazing and everything looks just beautiful. And I think it's important to talk with and have this conversation with women like yourself who are actually talking to other business owners and on the back listening and understanding what's really happening. So people are struggling and they're afraid and they're not doing as well as they were. And then what you're saying is that it's about the offer, it's about your people, and it's about selling. And a lot of people are going to throw technology on that. I'm going to get a website first, all of these things, when really those three things are really all you need. So if I was going to put an offer together today, what do you, and tell me then, I see an interlocking between the offer and the values. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would help someone do that?
Yeah, so from a baseline, most people start their business with some kind of offer in mind, right? You know what you're going to sell. You're
Yeah.
selling some kind of product or some kind of service. But the most important thing is, what is your unique selling proposition? Like why this product? Why now? Why you? And starting with something that you really strongly believe in. Like a lot of, high level business strategists will say you stick with one offer until you nail it to $1 million.
Yeah.
You stick with one small product suite of three products, or if you're a coach, literally one offer until you get there, because you need to know it so intimately and you need to know your ideal client so intimately before you move on to the next. So start small, right? Everybody, please get back to basics. Please stop overcomplicating and thinking that you need to sell digital resell right courses to be
Oh,
a
please,
to leave
Lord.
your children $1 billion. Like, just get back to the basics of why you started your business and start with one really simple offer, and then get out and tell people about it. Talk to them. One exercise I love to give to people is, if you don't have a lot of people online, right? Maybe you're just starting your social media following, go to networking events, talk to, like, you got to be able to put yourself out there. You got to face rejection. Go talk to people at coffee shops and start to listen to the kinds of questions that they're asking you and use that language. This is what becomes your brand language. This is how you attract more of the people that need what you are selling. And that's becomes your content online. People overcomplicate it. Like, I got to do this course and I got to do all these things. Go talk to people and then use the actual language of your buyers as your content. And you just get better and better and better at it. And then you say, hey,
Hey,
here is what you're telling me you need with your own words. Perfect. Here's this offer I have to sell you. And they're like, well, I do need that because you're speaking my language. Yes, yes, they are.
go talk to people. I want that on a t-shirt. Like as a business person,
Just,
I'll ask them all the time. I'm like, so how many people you talk to? You're like confused. They look confused. And I'm like, who taught you? So it's the swamp of social media, like you were saying, those master reseller rights. If I see that one more time, I'm gonna. But that something's happening over there. You can feel that that slough is about to dry up, right? That's very Canadian language, isn't it? It's about to dry up. It's going to go because of what's happening over there, those promises. And when I see Canadian women, I don't know why, but when I see Canadian women buying into it, It's just like not on my
It's
watch. It's,
what what I struggle with so much is we've literally just come out of a very difficult mental and emotionally draining time, and women bravely step up and say, I am going to start this business. I have always wanted to do it.
yes.
And am I allowed to swear on this podcast or does it get bleeped out?
Yes.
Like, and they've watched this bullshit online and they feel like they are failing. They
Amen.
feel like they are failing because they are watching these women say how they made $100,000 their first 3 months and they're buying their Texas mansion, and it is bullshit for 99.999% of the people below them that are buying these courses and doing these exact same things. And my women are feeling as though what they are doing is not good enough and what they are doing is exactly in line with freaking reality, and because they are watching these people online, it is eroding their confidence. And it is so heartbreaking to watch because they worked for so many years to get to a point where they said,
Yes.
I am finally going to do this for me. I'm going to start this business. And yeah, it's very heartbreaking.
I was watching something the other day and I heard this phrase called the Babel effect. And it's the loudest person in the room becomes the one that's perceived as the leader. So I
Mhm.
think what's happening is because they're the loudest voices, and of course, algorithms pick up and make that a louder voice, that it looks like it's the truth when it really isn't. But what happens with what you're saying, and I have to be very careful not to fall into it as well when things aren't going as well as I'm like, there must be something wrong with me. That's a bit of a default trauma response for me too, so I have to watch it. But it isn't it for most, right? Especially women, like it must be my fault because we're always told it's always our fault, right? Everything's our fault. So when I see a woman in her 40s and she's wanting to finally, like you said, get a hold of this, she's spending her last little bit of money that, because food is so expensive in Canada right now, it's heartbreaking to watch because it may very well take her out and take her out forever. She may never come back to the entrepreneurial space and give it another try. And as a result, she will not be able to fulfill and live and retire in that goddamn country of ours because it's impossible financially to do so. So if you're watching this, it's important to understand that women like the beautiful Justine talks with real business owners every single day and they're scared. Yes, they don't know how this is all going to come together. And what you're telling me is what? Back to basics. Let's get back to basics and let's stand up in who we are, what we stand for, say something about that online, and go talk to people until you're just like sick of talking to people, which never happens. I always say
And
talk to a horse.
I have witnessed honestly some of the most incredible things recently when I switched from this idea that Instagram was my lifeline. I built my business. I made my first $200,000 with only my cell phone and Instagram. Honestly, with very simple one strategy: post on Instagram, share value, make offers, have a great client experience, rinse and repeat for years.
Right.
Um, But what I am seeing with businesses now is they just are forgetting that human connection is so important. And so I started something, was just a really simple idea where I wanted to take away as many layers of resistance we have to connecting. And so I've seen the power of networking recently myself, but not everyone can get away from their kids.
Right.
Not everyone can afford the $120 breakfast that I just paid for to go talk to someone.
Right.
And not everybody feels really confident talking in person. Like they need kind of a baby step into it. So I started something called CEO Playdates. It's $15 a month and you come online and it's a virtual networking opportunity from people all over where I put you in little breakout sessions inside Zoom, and you meet new people and you can be in your jammies, you can have your tea, your kids can be running around in the background, and you have an opportunity and you come to a space where it is expected. You are there to pitch your business. You are there to practice it. You are there to find people to connect with you. And 24 hours after my first one, someone landed a client inside that group.
I'm,
$1,500.
how do we get signed up for that?
CEO Playdates, it's on my Instagram at the Goal Chasers. So you go into my bio, and there's
I'm
a
on your
main bio with all my little links.
I'm on
And
your
then
site
there's
right
CEO
now.
Playdates. Yes.
I'm on your site. It's a beautiful site. You've got to check out her site, thegoalchasers.com. It's just been revamped. It looks delicious. And I am going to join that because that is a no-brainer. And you're
No
right. It's
brainer.
$120 for a lunch or a breakfast anywhere today, never mind the time it takes to get there. And I believe that we together need to come into those communities and talk about what's really going on and come in with no lipstick on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we just come in and just be, and that one more barrier, like you were saying, if we can just release some of those, fantastic. Snowing up there, they say in Canada right now. Hey, what's the temperature?
I don't know what the temperature is, but it's cold. We were literally shorts and t-shirts, like ready to open our cabin up early last week, and now we have snow again. I'm over it.
I
I'm
was
over
thinking
it.
of, I still think about every spring like this. There was a hill behind our house, and the purple crocuses are coming. You,
Mm,
that was always the most beautiful
yeah.
time of year for me. I miss that over there very much. So they're coming.
Yes.
They're coming, and
And
when they come,
and where
they
did and where did you live?
Oxbow, Saskatchewan.
Oxbow, Saskatchewan.
So I'm in the corner,
Okay.
Estevan, 45 minutes southeast of Estevan. I'm close to Cardiff. Like we're like 20 minutes from the Manitoba border, and about 20
Mm,
minutes from North Dakota. So we're right in the corner. So we're really close to you there. So
okay.
our weather is very similar. We're that deathly,
Mhm.
kind of, yes, beautiful country though. Yeah. All
Beautiful,
right.
beautiful.
Thank you so much for being on the show and the amazing Justine McDonald at thegoalchasers.com. We need to talk to women who talk to real business owners and follow. I'll see you on your CEO. I'll be there just to talk to
Awesome.
people.
Can't
It
wait
can
to
be
have you.
so lonely. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you
Thank you so
everyone
much,
for
Pam.
listening and watching. And on the replay, let us know where you're listening in from, and we'll talk to you soon.